Looked like
Oh, you remember when they first started like taking HD pictures before they upload everything? They were showing everybody what they look like in HD.
I heard a lot of like newscasters complain too when they started
like,
that.
But a lot of like the Hollywood stars and like Britney Spears was pissed at how horrible she looked. This was when she was still, supposedly a virgin and kind of good looking. Before she had like 7 kids and lived in a
like the
trailer.
bald one, yeah.
I like the bald one just for the daddy issues.
the baldness.
Oh god.
But I mean, he likes it for different reasons.
Yeah,
Right.
Ooh, that's what some said. I hate when it tells you got a message on Twitter, but you don't. Sometimes it's just like fucking cunty.
I get anal like that too. It's
Sometimes
like, oh my God, I got a message. I gotta see it. I hate the notification sitting there.
Sometimes they don't even tell you got one.
Yeah.
And you're like, I never fucking saw this message. We got Dave Hoj in live.
And he brought whiskey, so we're gonna start his interview.
Salute.
All for that.
Slam time.
Slam time.
Slam time.
Thank you, Dave.
Down. Woo!
Happy Thanksgiving,
yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
Woo!
God bless our land.
Whoa.
Happy Tim Hortons Day.
Yeah.
I took half of that.
Fuck.
I'm
I'm
not good with shots, man. I got a weak stomach, so.
Fair enough.
Oh, and that's
They
tough.
just give
That
you-
They
was
gotta
rough.
pump it.
Wow.
Too much coming there.
Yeah, that's
Who's
exactly
that?
what it
Urban
is.
legend
It's
was
the
it
Moose.
Bon Jovi?
Everybody
Remember
had
in middle
that.
school.
It's the moose that.
When I was middle school, it was with that Rod Stewart.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
did it every so often, yeah.
And then Richard Gere had the fucking
The
gerbil up his
gerbil,
asshole. Oh, who did?
Except that was true.
Yeah.
No, I have a friend that worked in the emergency room that day. Does anybody know anybody that works in the emergency room? Because some of that stuff really does happen.
One of my friends was an EMT in New York City, and he said,
they get some good stuff.
you
there.
wouldn't believe some of the calls would be like a fat lady, like an obese lady, just stuck in her bathtub, couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like they'd have to go and just pull her out of the bathtub.
Well, I'm just talking about stuff they find inside of people's rectums.
Assholes and shit.
Those
yeah,
are- oh my
bottles
God,
and
those are
shit.
some
Beer
of the best
bottles, I've
stories.
heard.
a lot of it comes from the village.
Chelsea, yeah.
My one friend in high
Reminds
school.
me fucking Jackass when Ryan Dunn put the
Oh,
Matchbox
the
car up his
car!
ass.
That
Yeah.
shit was hilarious. My mom buddy Ralphie in high school, I think it was one of his buddies was an EMT, and they responded to an accident. But when they got there, the guy was like dressed in drag and shit. Looked like Slim from a few weeks ago. Like,
Right.
but yeah, no, they find like dudes got in a car accident that was all in drag and shit. Like, that's fucking funny. Oh, and they used to do too, where they would in the paper when they were in Boston, they would have like the crimes and what people were arrested for, and they would call the people's like siblings, not siblings, I mean spouses. And be like, oh, so your husband was arrested for kid touching and shit like that. Some of them wouldn't even have known at the time. That shit was funny.
You know what city is good for that? Memphis. Memphis puts out. You know how like the newspaper has the local blotter.
Yes, I was gonna say the
Instead,
blotter.
because of the amount of crime Memphis has, they actually have a weekly blotter give out that they, it's like a freebie. Like, you get like in the city, you get the Village Voice. They have like the Memphis blotter where they have pictures
It's
on
a
top of
whole-
it. They have the mugshots with it. It's so much cooler.
Oh,
It is the greatest thing ever.
That sounds fucking fantastic.
It's been a few years since I've been there, but to me it was one of the funniest things. My mom is the one that pointed it out, thankfully enough, because she's like, oh my God, look at this 65-year-old lady, this black lady that got arrested for soliciting sex within 100 feet of a church.
Wow.
And I'm like, first of all, that takes some balls.
Yeah.
That I was impressed with. And then I saw a picture. I was like, ah! Oh. And then my mother's like, oh my God, look, who the fuck wants to pay? Who the fuck wants to fuck her in the first place? And who's going to pay on top of that? And that's my mother saying that. So, you know it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Although that's clean language if you've ever met my mother.
Good. It was like Sauce when he moved into his place, just on his front lawn it had blown on, and they have like kind of like the same thing. It's only a page or two where he lives, but it's all the people that got arrested for shit. It's all their pictures, what they
Nice.
were arrested
I
for,
love
and shit.
that.
And he took a picture, posted on Facebook. I think I tagged. Did I tag
Yeah,
you? in
you
it?
tagged me,
Yeah, I know I
that's
tagged you.
Oh, you
got
gotta tag me if you say it.
I think Slim. Yeah,
I gotta look through again,
tag
bless
you
you.
in it. Some of them are really funny. And Jules said you're a pussy.
Why am I? Oh, because
For
of
the shot,
the
yeah.
half a shot.
He was saving it for you, Jules.
Eyedropper. That's what he needs.
Yes.
One of those baby
Hummingbird
Pour
feeders.
everybody a Jaeger shot.
Oh, we're all doing Jaeger with
I'm
the
good on a
Lamborghini?
Jaeger, bro.
Oh, you don't do Jaeger?
I do,
I'm gonna
but I
sip
don't
some
know.
Jaeger.
I'm trying to do a show here.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be getting wasted.
And you are too, but you're doing the right things.
Right.
And so am I. We're all doing the right things. Everything's okay.
Everything's
Mike's
okay.
driving, we're good.
As long as
Yeah.
I don't drink by choice. As people know me.
Damn.
You sure you
Slambo.
don't want Jaeger?
This is gonna make me.
Don't
we
cave,
gonna have any-
don't cave in the peer pressure.
Now, are we having the Jaeger first, or are we gonna have the docking gummy worms first?
We're gonna have the
Didn't we eat the gummy worms already? Like what?
Oh, what
Eat porridge. You
spoiler.
were shot
Look
too.
at this
I know,
guy.
spoiler alert. I apologize.
Damn, no. Like, oh, we can't
Oh.
do that. We already did that.
Yeah, we
Just
did that
one.
off the mics.
Just one.
What's that?
He
I
gave
said
you
no.
Jaeger. You said no.
You have to
He'll
do
take it. I don't know.
You said no, and he still gave you one anyhow.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
gonna
thank
still
you.
be a
Okay,
pussy
I
with
still
this
have one
one
in front
because
of
this
me.
is gonna make me
Everybody
puke if I take it like a
gets it.
shot.
You know, it's like he's like that high school friend. No, you're good. You're good. You have 3 more shots. It's good. It's on me. It's on me.
All right,
I love you.
all
I
right.
love you, man. I love you.
Jaeger,
Or the
cheers.
cops.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll
Oh.
give you a ride home. Yeah, you will.
I'm just gonna sip it.
Give me a fucking ride. I don't need a ride.
Oh,
Oh, I used to drink at a bar in
juice.
Belmar
Nice.
called the Shillelagh, and it was all
18th?
cops. I think so.
Yeah, I know.
And my buddy Steve, I worked at the Rat. My buddy Steve Hook was a member there. One of the few that wasn't a cop, like allowed to go to join and all. And dude, you'd be drinking, they wouldn't let you stop.
No, I
Pitcher
know.
after pitcher, bro, and they'd be like, they'd ask me if I wanted like
Were you
an
down there
escort
when,
home.
when Tropical Pub was still around? On 13th?
I don't know.
Was that 13th? I think.
Time to get swifty. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We gotta get swifty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
Robin Slim
Better
Show.
do that Jägermeister.
Ah, it
What's
was
wrong with
delightful.
you?
I sipped it.
Ah,
Sipped
Slim
it.
took it. Slim licked it like a cat.
I
Good
liked it.
shot of Jägermeister. What's wrong with you?
Slim should do it out of Pete's belly button.
I should do
He
it
lay
out
on the
Body
couch.
shots.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a metal tradition.
Yes, it is good. It is
Refusing German booze. What's wrong with you? Us Germans do it well.
Fuck yeah, they good craftsmanship. Those fucking Nazis.
Craftsmanship. That's
amazing.
what I'm talking about.
And, you know, speaking of that, you can't even blame that whole Volkswagen debacle on the Germans because all that stuff's made in Mexico. That's what happens when you outsource
Volkswagen.
shit.
Exactly.
Besides
Fucking
that,
horrible. The
No
outsourcing.
Farfig Nougat.
You know, it was much better when Hitler was running everything. Right?
Yeah. He was doing the right thing.
He built the Autobahn.
A chicken in every pot and what was in every oven?
Seven strudels on every table.
What's going on, Jules?
Nothing. I just saw you refuse a shot of Jaeger, and then I saw you took it.
I would have did it eventually, but yeah, I
Good
just
job,
had to
baby. Good
space it
job.
out. Thank you, darling.
We're playing the age-old game of peer
Put some
pressure.
hair on your chest.
I was like, no, and it was already there. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Finishing mine here.
I'm not
Like
going
an
to
old
make
lady
out with
a
all
cup
the
of tea.
guys.
Put your pinky out, Slim.
All right, I got
Put
this.
it out there.
Gotta be classy.
No matter
Yeah.
Pinky out, pinky
Really,
out.
really
Gotta
fancy.
do it.
It's still not done, is it? Okay. it
That's
is.
good enough. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go throw up now. No, I'm just kidding.
That shit wasn't even strong, though. Like, Jaeger's not even...
No, it's weird,
I don't even think
actually,
it has a bite.
No, it's one of those things that creeps up on you.
Yeah, yes.
It's like the friendly
It's a
reach
creeper,
around.
like some good weed, right?
It's like the Boone's Farm of this generation.
It's like a creeper like Slim at the elementary school.
Yes, but it is also weird. Like the older you get and the more you drink, like this shit, like it's not as strong
The
as
more
it
you
used
watch
to be,
tranny
'cause
porn, right?
The more you watch tranny porn, but like when I first used to drink Jaeger, like I couldn't stomach it. Now I did drink that, I don't taste the alcohol at all, and it's just like tastes
We're
like
out
black
of time
licorice.
left here.
It's whatever. It's like candy.
It's pretty rough when it's warm.
Yeah.
Yes, it does have to be fucking
Cold,
frozen. Yeah. Well, they have the taps that...
Oh my god,
Yeah.
those things are amazing.
Dude,
Right.
my
Oh
buddy,
my God,
my
bro.
buddy
When you walk
Tom,
out like headline, it's like, all right, right out of the cold tap.
dude, my buddy
Yes.
Tom has like a 6-bottle one.
Wow.
3
Well,
bottles
Someone
each
spoke
side.
to
It's
college seven, or what are you doing?
What's that?
Oh, it's Dave Hodge's interview. We're getting
Yes.
drunk. We're getting
And
drunk.
Jules is on. Hi, Jules.
Your interview.
No,
Good
what is
week,
your
kid.
question, Jules?
Do you have a question for Dave, Jules? I'm so drunk.
Libra? Very old, yes. Still dressed, though?
Unfortunately.
Still early.
Dave.
Still early.
Yeah.
Still early.
It's only 7:15.
You've been blowing up though, right?
That's what I was
Like,
going to say. You got a lot of gigs and shit, right? I see.
Yes and no. I've been running into, and thankfully I'm not going to be upset by it. I've been getting more than one gig for like one night, and that kind of sucks because you want to be able to take more gigs, and it's like when you start saying no, people get all pissy. It's like, oh, you never want to take a gig I have. I'm like, I do, but I already committed to someone. I don't want to be, you know, if it was, I'm like, hey, you know, if it was you, would you want me to cancel out on you and go to somebody else? I wouldn't do that. And
Yeah.
So thankfully, the few
I
people
never
are
thought of
being
that.
kind with me and like, all right, no, I understand your book, you know.
Cool.
Except like this weekend, I listed on my site, you know, books for the Poconos. It's actually my work trip, and only thing I'm going to be performing is my boss is going to make me tell jokes while we're drunk at midnight. So, hopefully my son will be sleeping at that point. You know,
You gotta periscope that.
yeah, definitely. Even if I'm not telling you, I'll just periscope a bunch of fucking toothless people in the Poconos. How do you not love that?
All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I just wanted to say hi.
Miss
Thank
you.
you,
See you
Jules.
Bye,
soon.
Jules.
Take care, Jules.
Say it, Jules.
Bye, guys. Have
Bye.
fun.
All right, you too.
I was gonna say something to Dave, and then it like went away.
I'm
and-
sorry.
No.
Fuck, Slim's got the vapors.
Yes,
Yeah.
29th.
29th.
I will see you all. The
yes.
four of you.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you,
too.
brother.
That would be
No
awesome.
problem.
We can't wait for that.
That's going to be a good show. Well, speaking of like Ralph said, it's basically a new place that it's not a. I mean, it's not technically a comedy club, but it's one of those places. It's like the latest trend, you know, because space is precious, especially you know how expensive shit is in this great state.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the guy that runs it, he's like a comedian. He has a couple other things that he does, and he's friends with the owner of this Italian place down in Bayville. And it seats like 60, 70 people. And they do a comedy like a couple times a month.
Cool.
Oh, so it's not
And,
like
like,
a
literally
weekly
other-
thing.
It's not like it's not like a weekly thing. And they literally just started doing this. It's only like that's going to be like the fourth show. I
Okay,
think.
so it's not an
Cool.
actual comedy club. It's at a restaurant. The guy's Italian restaurant.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
Bon
I
Appetit.
thought you said it was
on
somebody
Bayville.
else. That.
No, Bon Appetit is the name of the restaurant, but it's like Animal House Comedy Club is what it is at night.
Okay.
After
Oh,
hours.
all right.
All right.
Cool.
So like the other place I do a lot of work at is Bridgestones. I love the place. It's literally 4 blocks from my house. I probably shouldn't be driving there every time I go, but like you know, going up the hill sucks. You know, going home wouldn't be a problem. It's just you know that up the hill. I'm not doing that. I'm fucking lazy. But you know, that's another place. It's like it was like a restaurant that had like their little room for rent upstairs for private parties, and you know the place doesn't get a lot of business. So my friend basically rents it out to do comedy there a couple nights a month.
That's like the place that we were talking about earlier, the band Lost in Translation. It's like at a restaurant or a bar, and they have a room they rent out to them for like studio
That's
to
fucking cool.
rehearse and shit. Yeah.
I actually remembered what I was gonna say to you. You said that you're taking more than one gig in a night.
No.
Oh, okay.
I've been offered like for this weekend ahead. I'm going to be away. I'm going to be in PA. I have like 4 offers to be some other place.
That's
like,
awesome,
Well,
though.
I have to be somewhere with work,
Right.
and I'm taking my child with me. So
Yeah.
like, it's not like I could. Hey, I'm running back and forth all over the.
Yeah.
If it was paying a lot more, that'd be different. But you know, even if it was, I don't want to be one of those people that like commits to something and then like, all right, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this instead. Yeah, that's not who I
Right.
am.
Yeah.
It's just bad PR. You know, bad business.
So how many
don't wanna
gigs
be a
are
dick.
you doing like a week?
None of
One
your
or two.
business.
It's only 1 or 2. No, it's
Or
not-
just 1 or 2? Okay.
Yeah,
and are they like the same?
well,
Because
like-
you work a normal
like you
job
like
as
to,
well.
yeah, but like you know, you like to talk about bringing up my mom. So I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, right.
No, like I have a lot of shit going on with that. And
Yeah, how's she doing? Any
horrible.
better
It's
or
great.
same?
You know, Obamacare, beautiful government.
Oh.
You know, they want to. You know,
Dude.
she's on a respirator. They want to send her home. I'm like, oh, good. Are you going to be sending all this expensive equipment with you? I'm like, just
Yeah.
tell me. Let me know if you want to just kick her out. Let's see what happens.
I couldn't find
Let's
a fucking
fucking roll the
doctor on
dice.
that shit, bro. It took me like forever.
Well,
and
my
the
mom-
one doctor I found, he said he's the only guy in the area. They try to send people from like 45 minutes away to him and shit.
Yeah, well, my mom's not specific Obamacare. It's Medicare. Close enough. It's fucking government healthcare.
Yeah,
it's what the
yup.
government provides people that can't afford anything else. Same thing.
Exactly.
And it's like, all right, so well, you know, her time's going to be up here. What are we going to do? I'm like, oh, I guess we have to send her home. I'm like, oh, good. The lady on the feeding tube, the breathing tube.
Right.
We're just going to send her home. Like, all right, who's going to handle the equipment? You're going to take it out? You're going to kill her? What are you going to do? Come on, Obama. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sock puppet.
But no, I mean, like,
I don't know though. What else are our options? Fucking
yeah,
Trump?
I know.
Like they're all.
No,
they're all
I'm not even getting into that.
scumbags.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Oh, my
politically,
God.
the oligarchy's just going to kill us one way or the other. Just a
Yeah.
matter of how we
It's gotten
survive it.
so much worse over the years too. Like
True.
You know what it is?
reality show.
I don't know. I know. I'm showing. I will show my age. I remember watching, Schoolhouse Rock as a kid.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember that
You know?
shit.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
remember it being on all the time.
Yeah.
That was like a staple when I was a kid.
Once in like 5th grade.
Yeah, but you actually learned shit from that. It was
Yeah.
a cartoon and you
Junction
learned.
function.
Yeah, you learned about how to write a
Constipation.
sentence. You learned how a
Yeah.
bill became a
Yeah.
law. Like kids were taught civics.
Yeah.
You learn stuff as a kid, whether it was
Yeah.
from school or not. But you learn stuff, and now they try and take all that away because nobody wants to teach kids anything anymore. And now it's like, then you get all these adults like, well, what do you mean the government's not going to do that? Well, what do you mean I can't do that? And the other thing they do is, my generation was kind of screwed by the fucking hippies that raised us. But it's like, hey, just go to college. It's all right. You don't have to major in anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, now it's like we have hundreds of thousands in debt. It's like, are you kidding me?
I felt that way. Like I had to go and I just failed out. Like,
Nowadays-
I'm like, all right, well, I fucked up. Oops.
Nowadays, my
Yeah.
sister, she's working as a
gonna say that.
preschool.
Yeah.
She's working as a preschool aide, right? She said that like the curriculum is if the
Ridiculous.
the kid's told to write a 3, right?
Right.
The kid will write a number like a
B.
letter S or something, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Oh, it's okay because it's
Good job
creative."
on being wrong.
Good
Yeah,
job.
good job on
Pat
being
the
a
kid on the
retard.
B.
That's how
be a
you
moron.
fucking destroy
Yeah.
self-esteem.
Son,
Well,
everybody
That's
gets
it.
mad at like the fat shamers, and son, if it wasn't for fat shaming, I wouldn't want to try and lose weight.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know I'm a fat piece of shit.
Dude.
I want to be better about it. You want to complain about not paying for the fat guy's healthcare, then fucking fat shame me so I can fucking lose the weight.
That'll like knowing what you suck at
Yeah.
makes you get good at what you're good at.
Right.
Like
Not being picked for the team didn't make me shoot up a school. It made me want to try harder or find a different sport.
exactly.
There you go.
Be
Yeah.
funny or whatever.
Doing
fuck.
Or be the kid that played fucking D&D. Look at all these fucking people that are making millions that were all fucking, this whole big nerd movement that's out there. And I don't even think it's
Yeah.
that. It's not even that, because I hate to give that credit, because I still want to punch fucking nerdy people sometimes. I'm only speaking of one friend in particular. But,
All right, good.
Joe, you know who you are. Joe, you know who you are.
I was worried there for a minute, Dave.
No, you're good, you're good.
Yeah, Mike.
No, so, it's like, they go out, it's like, oh yeah, the nerds were taking over, and the meek shall inherit the earth. Go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves.
I've never once said that in my
I've never
life.
heard
Just so
that.
No,
you...
I had a friend say that recently,
Oh.
and I'm like, dude, seriously, like, it's not that nerds are doing better at taking over. People are just more open about their nerdy habits, and that's all. it is.
Everybody has
Look,
something.
Everybody
Every
has.
guy.
Look, I mean, I'm not a nerd,
At
but I
least.
love Star Wars. Doesn't make me a nerd because I
Yeah.
love Star Wars. Doesn't make it cool that that you're a nerd but you love Star Wars either. Just fucking know your role.
Yeah.
Know your fucking role. I'm gonna fucking beat you. And I'm not even a bully, but I would fucking beat that kid.
There's like nerds that like block out other nerds because they're not nerdy
Nerdy
enough.
enough, yeah.
enough,
We
yeah.
knew
That was
Oh.
us.
That was me and Slim
In
back
high school, like
Oh.
we
We
hung
weren't
out with the
nerdy enough.
nerdy kids, but we weren't nerdy enough for them, so they would just fuck with us the whole
Yeah,
time.
are
I
you
don't know
fucking
why
serious?
we
I'm
dealt
not
with
even
it, but
joking.
yeah, absolutely. Like they would use us as a way to make themselves
It was
feel
like a
better.
nerd clique. Like you weren't good
Yeah.
enough to join the nerd. Like,
Yeah, we weren't good enough for the nerds.
You were
Like-
like the light
Wow.
nerds. You weren't
Yeah.
like
because they're the outcasts. Like
Yeah.
they're
so
the
they
narrow.
they had to have a group that they had to pick on
Exactly.
because you weren't good enough to be in
You're
their
not
group.
good enough.
yeah.
Castigating people is a way of life. Goddammit, this is America.
You need a cloak and eyeliner.
and it made me a bitter asshole.
And it
Yeah.
made Slim a cross-dresser.
Yes.
yeah.
And it doesn't make any of us bad people.
No.
It makes us better at that.
We're all better.
It absolutely
than them.
does.
Now I
Exactly.
call nerds out on being nerds. Instead of
Now they
taking
think
their
it's cool,
shit.
but no, we're still fucking picking on you.
Yeah.
You're just too stupid to realize
Exactly.
it. Oh, there's no bullying anymore. This is great. He just said I was a nerd. That's cool. No, you're a fucking douchebag.
Oh, the bullies were telling you what you needed to hear,
Even
asshole.
they were, and even on the ride here, it was one of the high schools, like Southern. It's like in lights on their billboard. Don't be a bully, be a buddy. Like, oh, shut the fuck
I
up.
Be a
like it this
bully.
way.
We need bullies.
I get the sentiment of trying to be polite, but taking it away forcefully, there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like, there's got to be a hierarchy. Like I know, like this whole participation trophies and shit. Your sons are still young enough. My son is out of that point, and I'm kind of upset because it kind of ruined him too. Because now he knows now that you have to compete. He can't, on the same level with some certain sports.
There
And
needs
it's
to
like,
be losers
you
and
need
winners,
to
man.
teach kids that this fucking you lost, you suck. Try harder.
Our buddy
Yeah.
Christian told us
You
that
lost, Johnny.
Bill
You're a
Gates
loser.
gave
Sweep the leg.
Bill Gates gave a speech at a college and said, "You're never going to get another me if you keep teaching kids like this
Yeah.
shit." And it's true. It's
I
fucking
loved
Absolutely.
what George Carlin said. Pack up your shit, Johnny. You're a loser.
That's what my dad said all the time to me.
And I think it also creates this mentality where these kids will think like, okay, so I'm just not good at this. Where if they were told like, you're not good at this right now, you fucking suck. But if you commit to it, you'll get better.
Right, this
and
is
that
what you have
never
to do.
gets
But
conveyed.
see, there's
Yes.
a fine line. There's a fine line. You want to encourage the kid to
Yes.
try and get better. But don't push them along just for the sake
Right.
of pushing them along.
If they're
If you're
that
not
bad, don't coddle
you
them.
encourage
Yeah.
and teach. Just don't encourage for the
because
sake of
being-
encouragement.
Find
Yeah,
something
exactly.
else
Being
you're good at.
bad
You
at
can't-
like,
something
what are we
might make you realize you're good at something else.
That's what-
you
yeah,
know?
exactly.
You can't teach the empowerment bullshit. That's where you fucking lose everything.
I don't mind the empowerment bullshit because I'm a fan of stupid shit like that.
No,
No, I know I'm contradicting myself.
But the thing is, though, you can't tell everybody they're good at everything. I mean,
That
you know,
I agree
$20
exactly.
That's
But,
it, yeah.
but the whole thing is
Um,
that's where, like I said, my hippie fucking parents' generation fucked my generation. Now your generation is slightly fucked too.
Or just like
yeah.
movies, like Karate Kid. The dude loses.
It went from
in an
sweeping
hour.
a leg to fucking I'm a black kid and I could fucking take over.
Or just in a song, you were a black belt. Like everybody thinks that shit's so easy. I'm just gonna take karate lessons.
No,
and
I can
kick
fucking
everyone's
wax the
ass.
floor and I'm a
Commit to
black
it.
belt.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You have to be in.
You say something, Slim, or ignore us to
I'm
text?
just
Come
gonna
on.
ignore and read text messages.
No, I thought you were. You had a question.
There was something I was gonna say, but I'm like
Oh.
drunk, so it like went away. And
sorry.
no, I'm sorry. What it was is like
It's like the second
We're-
time I did that to him.
we're getting
I
we're
keep
getting
doing
right. We're getting to the point
Horny?
where we're basically saying like, oh, you know, you do nothing and lay around in your bed all the time. That's okay. You're creative. That's cool. You can do that.
Well,
No,
I tell
fucking
myself
do
that.
something.
See,
I laid around in bed all day. all week.
but see,
especially with your pants off.
But see, this is where my contradicting part comes in. I get wanting to encourage your kids to be more creative and stuff like
Right.
that. The thing is, like I said, like my fucking the hippie generation before me said, no, we're great. You could do anything you want. Just fucking, you'll figure it out one day. Instead of saying, hey, you're kind of good at this. Why don't you work on it? Like their parents did to them. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, maybe you won't be a doctor, but you know, you're a pretty good fucking mechanic. You know, what was that movie? There's always going to be room for new ditch diggers. You know? What
Yeah.
I mean?
Right.
Because it's
Yup.
true. Who's gonna? And you want to worry about fucking Mexicans coming into the country? No shit, because you don't want to. I'm not going to do that shit. Fuck that.
Exactly.
Well, fuck you, then
Yeah, I'm too
fucking
good for
earn
that. I'm
nothing.
going to college.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm going to
Like,
college. All right, then earn nothing and fucking be a loser.
That's
You're
why all
worse
the
than any
fucking-
fucking nerd out there.
That's why all the factories
I'm sorry for
close
yelling
and
into the
shit.
mic like
Let's
that.
go
No.
for
I heard how loud that was. I was like,
That
whoa,
was
Yeah.
good.
fuck them.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
Had to get an F-bomb out.
with authority.
I was going to ask how you felt. We talked to a comedian maybe about a month ago, Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
And he
Interesting.
said,
Yeah.
we asked him why he didn't have much on YouTube as far as
Okay.
like stand-up.
Yeah.
So
And,
he had no
like,
stand-up anywhere. There was no recordings
Me
of
either.
any of his
well,
stand-up
actually, there's
at
like
all.
one 30-second thing of me that a friend of mine put up, and it's real grainy.
Okay,
and
see,
big.
we
He
didn't
said
know
he didn't
that.
want anything up till he was like Leno ready, till he had like a Leno set.
Right.
Let me put it this way: there's a couple philosophies behind that. I'm sorry, I have to dig into the vodka gummies
Go for it.
Yes.
because it's Wednesday.
Pete's digging in too.
But
I'm having a little one.
let me put it this way: the philosophy is you put it out there so more people will find you, see what you do, and they can hire you. The alternative thing is you put your stuff out there, and people are watching for free. They're never going to come see you because ideally the goal is to be paid to be saw. You want to be on
True.
stage to be paid. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not show friends, it's show business. I know I'm quoting Jerry Maguire like a faggot, but it's it's a true statement.
I've seen no guys on Comedy Central, but then gone out to see them live because they're
Right,
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
a toss up. But when you're
but
first
not
starting
everyone's
out,
like that,
but
or
no, when you're first starting out, you don't want to have too much out there because it's like okay, because also you don't want to be critiqued by someone who's like, yeah, I saw it, I'm not that impressed. What if it's the day like it's not your greatest set ever?
yeah, that's true.
Or if you thought it was good and like you have one of these bookers that are like, yeah, I'm not allowed. I saw that. I saw what you had on YouTube. Get the hell out of here. And I've
Yeah.
had that. I've seen that happen to people.
Right.
Thankfully, I had one booker that kept asking me for my stuff, and I wouldn't give it to him. And he finally gave in and put me on, and thankfully he's hired me more than once. So, that doesn't always work like that because it came on not reputation through comedy. It came on, thankfully, through lives a couple blocks away from a friend of mine, from high school, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, trust me, the guy's funny. Just trust me, the guy's funny. Don't worry about looking for his YouTube. He's good.
He's
You'll
good.
like him.
Trust me.
And I'm like, all right. I'm like, thanks, Joel.
Right.
So the guy booked me. It's the guy that runs the Meadowlands Comedy Festival, and he does a lot of stuff
Cool.
up that way in that area. I'm like, I was lucky to be a part of that first annual festival. Hope to do it again this year. Whenever they do it again, my fucking months are running crazy lately.
Yeah.
So it's good to have something out there. And the one thing I started doing, and thankfully I stopped just because I have Sprint, so my service isn't always the best. So I put stuff like what you could do, just as advice for anybody that's listening, is you could put it on and just make it a private thing where you could only send it to somebody if you choose to.
Yes.
So that I
way
think
they
that
have
would be
the
the good
link,
thing. And I
yeah.
did that
Yeah.
once, and I'm like, I'm at the point where as good as I like that set, my material was perfect, and there was some things I'm like, if I actually sat back and critiqued it, I'm like, I could have done like 10 things better on that, and then it's like, do I want to send that to somebody? I'm like, and I've actually had that one critiqued by other people. I'm like, I like it. It was really good. You did this. You probably should have hesitated. You should have gone this. You could have given a break here. I'm like, all right, trust me, I appreciate the criticism. But he's like, but I still want you on the show. I'm like, as long as you tell me you want me on your show, I'll take all the criticism you give me. I'll live and learn with that.
Wow, I never thought of that.
It's an interesting point too, because I've studied a lot of like writing and stuff. Like I was trying to be like a writer at some point, and they say like if you're writing like screenplays and stuff like that, or even a book, you should always just let your friends read it first. Like your first draft, pass it out to your friends, let them read it.
I will say, back in high school when he used to write stories, he wrote some pretty awesome shit.
I suck now, but fuck you. I just like lost my train of thought.
Wow,
that's all right. Mike's the only one that hasn't done it to you yet. Well, it's still early.
It is still early.
But so it's interesting to see that like that makes sense with the comedy as well, where you do it live, make it private, and then show your friends and see what they have to say about it.
Like a Google Drive thing, or even on YouTube, like you said, you can make it private.
Right. But my whole thing, I mean, if I'm just taping it, I could just tape it and leave it on my damn phone. You know what it is? My whole thing is I did that the one time, and then I realized it's probably cheaper if I just got the damn SIM card for $10, and just the memory card for my phone, because I usually do it on that and I have to stop doing that because not every place has good Wi-Fi. So if you can't get a cheap camera, please do that, comics. And that's something I bless you.
Go in your room.
It's something I have to do myself, just because if you have a camera, you don't have to worry about a place with shitty Wi-Fi where it cuts out.
That's what I think camera really does.
I've had that happen to me before too, where especially where it happened to me one night where I'm like, all right, I'm going to tape this. I'm ready to go. Okay. I have a good set coming. I'm feeling good. There's a good big crowd here. I'm like, great. This will be something I could actually put up. And I'm like, all right, I'll put this. This is one that's going to go on YouTube, and you're all psyched beforehand. And then you're all done. 10 minutes later, you're getting high fives. All right, cool. You walk back, and your friend is sitting next to the camera is like, yeah, it shut off like 30 seconds in. I'm like, oh, good, thank you. Yay! Yay, technology. I suck.
Oh, that's the worst.
I actually have a serious question, though. I brought this up to another comedian a couple weeks ago. Is Pete and I were talking, and Pete has thought about doing stand-up comedy, and one day he asks me, like, hey, what do you think, like, when do you stop? Like, you bomb so much, when do you stop? Like, when do you realize, like, okay, all I do is keep bombing, do I stop?
That was a question.
Well, there's only two ways to go about it. Do you want to be a comedian? And if you want to be a comedian, either find out what if you're bombing, find out what you're doing wrong to correct it, or don't correct it and just be a douche. Or you realize, or you could come to that realization that, well, maybe I really shouldn't be a comedian. It comes back to that whole damn lesson of, hey, come on, let's get this guy out of here.
Well, in my 20s, I always thought it would be funny to, like, go to an open mic night and just bomb purposely. Just fucking...
That, you don't even have to try hard most times.
Yeah, that's another thing. And then I was thinking, like,
because most of the open mics, especially when you're at that stage where you're going to all these open mics, is mostly comics out of there anyway. And they don't want to hear what you're saying.
I do remember, though,
they're just worried about getting up and doing their set.
Come on, when do I go up? My friend, I have like two friends with me.
Stress Factory, I remember Vinny coming around and saying, don't boo. Because we were at open mic night. Don't boo the open micers.
Yeah, and you should. It's kind of a douche thing to do.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even boo the pros, but because it's kind of douchey. But granted, there are some moments in life where some people need to be booed. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I've never done it.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason when I was younger, I wanted. One of the things. I mean, I wanted to be a comic when I was a kid. Just because I looked up to, like, George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, this is great. These people get paid to do this. This is hysterical. I think it would be great to do that. And I was like, get a job. Yeah, that's all, And don't worry, go to college, get a job. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, and that'll work out.
Yeah, because that worked out great for me.
That also kind of goes back to the way we're raising these kids and stuff, where, like, if you keep telling these kids that everything they do is great, and, like, say you do have this crowd that was trained that way, you're a comedian, and they think you suck, but they're like, yeah, you're fucking awesome. Oh, yeah. Like, then how do you know you need to
Let me sidetrack this. L.A. crowds are good for that. If you ever want to really feel good about your set, go to LA and perform.
But then you just keep doing the
Unless
same
you want to
shitty
be
stuff.
violent, if you want to be racist or offensive to ethnic or sexual orientations, if you're not doing that, for the most part, you'll get some claps. So if you really want to feel good, go out to the West Coast.
It's just so shitty though, because then you get in your head like, oh, this is great material. When in reality, it's not. Where like if you got the booze, it would give you the moment to reflect on it and maybe see like, oh, okay, I can step outside and see it from the perspective. They're right. Maybe I have to change this or move
one
this.
comedian from out there that I really respect is what's his name? He did the whole like Vanilla Ice with the devil thing.
Eminem?
Vanilla Ice.
No.
Farrakhan, white man's the devil.
Wow.
Where you going with that?
Man,
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Bill Hicks.
Bill
Bill Hicks.
Hicks.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, the dead guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody hasn't been alive in a while. Yeah.
Word
Yeah.
food.
The guy that was just out, back when he was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The way you were wording it, it sounded like,
Yeah, no,
I just saw him like 20 years
I
ago.
just saw that guy. What
No, but
happened?
I have looked up old footage of him.
Yeah.
Old ladies naked.
He's fucking hilarious with
Well,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
And after that, I always gotta, look at him afterwards.
Yes.
Right.
It makes it more. But anyway,
Less guilty.
makes me feel less guilty. But no, he's hilarious. He's like one of my favorites.
Mike's
And,
going for some gummies.
No.
No. One's just like all tangled
It's not
up there.
alcohol. It's just gummy worms.
And
So
he's-
go on. I forget what the point of this was.
anyway, what I'm
Better.
saying is,
I don't know where you're at.
No, I was number 2.
Oh, okay.
I just lowered it.
A lot
okay.
of what he said
Sorry
would have
about that.
pissed off a lot of the LA community.
But
Oh, yeah.
you got to remember, it was a love-hate with him.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that just even the comedians always
Yeah.
loved him. There's like certain people and unfortunately, it's usually the ones that aren't with us anymore. Like Bill Hicks, Patrice O'Neal.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to be offensive
Yeah.
and be funny and be serious at the same time.
I think I actually had heard Jim Norton say that there's like two types of comedians. There's a comedian who goes out there and he gets a lot of laughs from the crowd, and then there's a comedian who goes out there, he doesn't get any laughs from the crowd, but the comedians in the back who are
Comedians
listening
love
are
him.
laughing.
Yes.
If you could do both, you're a genius.
Right.
That's the key demographic. If you can do both, you're killing it. But like I said, no, but with them, who else? Greg Giraldo. 'Cause
Yeah.
He just,
Yeah.
anniversary,
Yeah.
the 5-year anniversary was last month. And,
I know. Shit. I can't believe it's been 5
Speaking of, you were
years.
talking about somebody that was like an attorney and a comedian, and I'm like, yeah, he was an attorney before he was a comedian. He was a corporate lawyer on Wall Street, and said, I don't need 6 figures. I want to be a comedian.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
And then
brain,
wound up waiting
Yeah.
and working his way and making 6 figures again. God bless him.
Exactly.
my brain definitely went dead with that Bill Hicks thing.
Makes sense. We'll blame him.
Yes.
Blame the dead
Sure,
guy.
why
We're good.
not?
I think you just you love Bill Hicks so much that you were like, I gotta find a way
Show's
to work
over.
Bill
Yeah.
Hicks into this conversation.
I'm going to go drive.
No, I'm a big fan of Bill Hicks.
He's going out and getting
he's
the
good.
slam.
Got
ball.
that.
Definitely.
All right, real quick question then. What do you like about him?
I just like
The bulge.
Right?
He likes the package.
Yeah.
the package, definitely. But just
He's an anteater.
some of the stuff he would say about
It was all real and it was all
black
true.
Hollywood. He was really real. He was genuine. And then some of the stuff he said about the music industry too, because I'm really into music, and I think he just hit the nail on the head with that.
Right.
You know?
But you got to remember, the one thing that the people that loved him about him is because he was that real and honest.
Yeah.
And the more honest and real you are with comedy, it doesn't even have to be the funniest stuff.
Yeah.
If you're real and you make a good point, and it has some humor to it, you will make a lot. You will get a lot of laughs, and eventually you will make a lot of money.
Another thing, he saw what was coming. Like government,
I still have to figure some of that out.
another government approved rock and roll. Yeah,
Right.
that whole thing.
I was thinking back to when we were talking about like Alan Show and stuff, and Alan was doing this whole segment about like setting yourself apart. In my opinion, just don't set your yourself
why you
apart.
be that different?
And I feel like same
You
thing
just
with
gotta be
comedy.
you.
Just
That's-
go up and do your thing. Do what
But
you
see,
enjoy.
There's
you know,
a fine
I
line
don't-
between the two. You want to set yourself apart because not because you're trying to set yourself apart.
You
want
don't
to
wanna
set
be
yourself
up.
apart because you want to be you. And
Right.
that's where the fine. You get like a lot of these like Brooklyn hipster comics that are out there. Which is
Dave's got
a
another
lot
gummy worm in his hand.
Like-
Yeah,
like
I thought it was another two docking again, but
Like Cam.
no, but you get a lot of these weird hipster crowds, and it's like, hey, yeah, whatever, and it's like, all right, well, fuck you, you're just trying to set yourself apart, and you walk in, you're in the room where everybody's basically saying, I'm going to take a strong stand against racism. No shit, dickhead. You know? All right, well, and then like when you have
You shouldn't be for it. You should not be for
when you have
racism.
10 people say the same like type of joke, it's like, okay, but then I understand wanting to set yourself apart, but not for the sake of setting yourself apart to say the same thing. You want to set yourself apart to be you, not to be like everybody or like two other people.
It also comes down to like as soon as you put like limits on yourself, as soon as you're like, what can I do to set yourself apart? You're doing the exact opposite of what you're trying to accomplish.
Exactly.
When you go out there and just say, I'm just going to do my thing, that's what you should be doing. Like you're letting your creativity to flow and you're not limiting it. The other way, as soon as you say, I'm going to be like this guy or I'm going to be different than everybody else, you're putting limits on what you can accomplish.
Right. That's the ideal goal of not just comedy, but any art form. Like whether it's even like rock. You want to have a band that you want your own sound. Granted, the government-approved rock and roll is only going to put certain type of things on the radio. I get what you're saying with that.
Yeah.
They're granted. Like Snoop was saying before, they all sound like the same fucking
Snoop
music and hip hop.
actually-
It's the same exact thing, no matter what genre you're listening to.
Corporate ruined everything.
But that shit is disappearing though. Like with all the rappers we find through
Is
like
it?
Twitter
Well,
and stuff.
underground.
To a point, like the
Underground is
underground
the place
people,
you find
I
something
feel
different.
like
It's
people
completely
are.
different.
I feel like people are still with the internet are moving more towards like the underground guys.
But you still got
And
like
seeing them
hordes of retards that are just like
Everything on the radio
Oh,
sounds the same, like
yeah.
the same bitch. Like it all sounds like the same whore.
Katy
Absolutely.
Perry, you
Oh,
know,
God.
like
Ariana
that whole shit.
Grande, like
Hey, I would lick her donut.
Yeah, she's to be seen and not to be her.
I want to hear a lot of things from her.
Like what? Like
Stop.
what?
Stop. No! Stop! Get away! You're old enough to be my
order.
father!
restraining order.
Please more.
I was gonna thank you though, Dave.
You're
Anthony
welcome.
Ennis.
Yes.
He followed us.
I
about a
told
week or
him to
two
follow you
ago.
guys,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I was
He-
like, I saw
Another
he was a
show-
Jersey comedian. I was like, would you do an interview? And he's like, yeah, Dave just told me about your show last night. I was like, cool,
Yeah.
dude.
Another show that actually I'm on their panel weekly, Monday night show I do. John Kulik Comedy Circuits on GS Radio and also live on Ustream Monday nights. A lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with that show. He was just like Anthony. I've worked with him a lot. He's good. He works with Levy all the time. Great guy, funny guy.
Wow, nice.
And he was like, he's like, I wish I could find, another show that I'm like, dude, I got the perfect show for you.
Cool.
And he's a good guy, filthy mouth. You would love him for that.
Oh, awesome.
Which was really great because the guy that does that Monday night thing tries to be very clean, and God bless him for it. And
Yeah.
you have only because soon they want to have the show on public access. So I get why he's trying to do
There
it.
you go.
Yeah. We don't want that.
Unfortunately, there's some of comics like I could do clean. I don't give a damn. Trust me, it's very unfortunate. I let a lot of shit fly just because of the way I was raised. I want to be like my mom a little, fucking curse out the ass.
That's it.
But so Anthony was great because we came in and went from talking about very family friendly, wholesome stuff to anal bleaching and anal beads by the end of the show.
That's amazing.
And-
Mislead the crowd.
Right.
Okay,
So,
it's no curse word.
but we didn't curse.
Yeah.
We didn't
Exactly.
curse.
My asshole's clean.
Anal bleaching. I didn't say asshole. I just said anal bleaching.
The butthole.
Yeah. Well, you clean the back, the black side. Where you go from your ass goes from Michael Jackson to Michael Jackson. Speaking of that, you know what I saw on Amazon recently? I'm sorry, I'm trying to throw this slightly off here. They have like homemade bidets that you could just attach to your toilet.
Are you serious?
$26 on Amazon.
Hold on.
Work.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm a retard. What's a bidet?
Oh, that's
It's
like
the
one of
thing
those
that shoots-
vagina toilets. That,
It's-
like,
It shoots
shoots
water
water
up your
European.
genitals.
Yeah, instead of wiping,
Oh,
You just-
we're getting that, Pete.
squirts water in your ass.
We're gonna
No,
order
no,
one
I've
of
been to
those.
Italy
If
before.
not,
They have them in every
let me
bathroom.
know around Christmas. I know what to get you guys for Christmas.
There you go.
You'll be like second on my list of people that get something for Christmas. I told somebody else, I'm like, oh my god, he made a bidet joke. I'm like, dude, I know exactly what they get. And he's like, what? And I'm like, no, because I just saw the. Of course, people that in my day job, they're like, oh, you got to see this. You're always talking about your ass and anal bleach.
Yeah, dude.
How you like sitting on bidets? I'm like, dude, we got to check this out. I'm like, holy
Dude,
shit!
when I went to Italy, they had bidets in every bathroom.
They do.
And
They're
they had
awesome.
like porn
Yeah.
on public access TV.
On
It was
Saturday
fucking
morning,
amazing.
cartoon.
Yeah.
Saturday morning anime porn.
Jerking off on your grandmother. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Sailor Moon and an 8-tentacle fucking penis fucking her.
That fucking tentacle thing from Lord of the Rings just feeling her up. That's fucked up.
Oh, this poor repressed country.
Yeah. What the fuck? They can't drink at 14 over here. What the fuck? I was going to ask you, Dave,
Yes, Anthony Enos, please call in. I don't know when you have him booked, when you can get him. I told him,
December.
like, listen, make sure.
Yeah,
Because the
we're
reason I
booked
told him
right
to
now.
contact you, I was like, listen, contact them right away because they do book out pretty far.
Dude, yeah, right now we're booked till like
Yeah.
the first week of December.
Yeah, I got to remember
And
to be
so
booked
everybody
again,
knows
but, you
that
know.
that's all Rob. Rob was a beast at PR. Like,
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
We're booked out till December, but we have nothing. We got
so much
I
more
think
to
he's
go.
referring to that.
He's referring to
just-
the haterade.
The hater.
There's just nothing
Yeah.
going on.
Well, when you copy
what do you
other
guys,
shows.
Yeah, what do you
easy.
guys have planned?
Opie and
Nothing.
Anthony.
Opie and Anthony.
We're just listening
Hey,
to
maybe
old
we should just be
O&A.
like that Cameron and just be douches.
This entire segment, this was like we actually gave Dave a script from an old O&A episode, and he's
print
been
them out.
reading.
I'm reading Jay Moore's part.
Right.
Is that good enough, Cam? Fucking douche.
Linger longer.
But
The crease man.
love you, Alan. Love you, John. You guys are great.
We love
Fucking
you guys.
dish
I wanted to
Karen.
ask Dave if you ever used anything from like your real life, like that your kids do. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think my kids, like, I can't write that shit. It's so funny. The shit they do.
That, like I was saying earlier. The
Hold
stuff-
on, wait. I gotta cut you
No!
off. How old are your kids? Like,
Oh,
I don't
damn
know what
it.
the
All
age
right,
are.
13.
Fucking God.
I only have one that I know of.
Okay, you only have one. All right.
Only one that's been brought to my attention.
Okay.
He lives
I
with
thought
me.
you said you had a kid that was in college or something,
No, the girl I was fucking was in college. But
Oh, okay. All right. See, I got the
They're
stories
too old for
mixed
me.
up in my head. They're too old. All
Well,
right.
some of them are still under 20.
All right,
They,
so
they can't
13
get their own alcohol.
13-year-old son, continue. Sorry,
Yeah, no,
interrupted.
like, you know, my son's been coming up to me with, especially, how old your oldest now? 8, you said?
8, yeah.
Next year, it's when you think some of the funny shit's coming out now. Wait till the fucking pubes come in. I do use this one in my act sometimes, and you know, just because like you were about to ask me, I believe, you know, do I use any of that personal stuff? Like, yes,
Yeah.
only because
This is so funny.
nobody will fucking believe half the shit that your kids will tell you until you say something. And you know, you want to get over and tell. I don't want to just tell dick jokes on stage.
Right.
And whenever I'm inspired because my son's just coming up with weird shit like that. Literally, this happened one day, and it's, you know, I'm not going to go verbatim my act because I'm just fucking drinking and eating vodka gummy worms here.
Yeah.
But, you know, my son came up to me one day. He's up in the shower, you know. And, you know, I'm sitting downstairs. I forget the hell I'm watching. And I hear, Dad, get up. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? You know, what do you do if your kid's fucking screaming in the shower? You run upstairs.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
hell's going on? I run upstairs. Fucking woof. Opens the fucking curtain and goes, styled up the pubes today. Look at that.
Are you
Yes.
serious?
I had-
Holy
He was
shit.
9. He was 9.
Oh,
They weren't even
nice.
pubes. It was fucking a couple little things
It
sticking
was
out.
Like when
it
you
was
first
like
get the
one
little
hair.
spick stand.
Like when you first get your hair cut and it's little spikes. It's not even curling yet. It's just little fucking spikes. It didn't even grow anywhere. That's what he had. He's like, look, I put conditioner and I styled the pubes. I'm
Nice.
like, wow.
I was at a couple years ago. My kids were getting out of the bath and they were drying off. And Ewan was drying off. William was supposed to be getting dressed, but he screamed, "Ah, my butthole hurts!" And I realized he's leaning back into the, you know, the sink,
Radiator?
the kitchen. I mean, the cabinet, the kitchen. Yeah, that would have been funnier. But the drawers on, you know, around the sink had knobs.
Right, yeah.
And he was actually in his ass crack. And I'm like, that's because you're leaning on a knob and it's pressing against your butthole. And me
That's
and you
amazing.
and William just started laughing. And I'm like, Ma,
You can't make it up.
Ma, you might want to like get some Lysol on there. And she's like, that's not funny. And I'm like, yeah, that's funny. I don't care who you are.
That's also coming back to like roots of comedy. Like a lot of people say most comedians aren't really good until they're much older because you haven't really lived yet. You haven't had the
Yeah.
experience. Some people have, and it's Pete Davidson I got to meet recently from SNL down at the Taj Mahal show. Funny guy, awesome
Nice.
guy, very nice, one of the nicest people you could ever meet. Skinny as shit, you know. And I get that those fucking Hollywood types, they're all fucking bone rail thin. But I mean, you could tell that he's thin, but in person, I'm like, he's really fucking thin. I'm like, oh man. But like, you know, but you get people like that that are young, but he's actually, you know, if you know any of his story, he's experienced enough in his life where, you know, he's been doing comedy since he's 15. He just turned 21. He's on SNL for a year and a half now.
Wow.
That's like Bo Burnham. You ever
Yeah.
hear Bo Burnham?
Yep.
Bo Burnham's great. If you guys ever listen to Bo Burnham,
His-
don't be a pussy.
Hold
Bo
on.
Burnham's fucking fantastic.
I have to like kind of interrupt on this. His first like special he did was great, and then after that he was like, I don't know, he did something that he was like, I'm going to be all artsy, and it was just terrible. That's all I gotta
Sheets.
say.
You see, that also goes back to everybody, you know, trying to set themselves somewhere different. And when you're doing it just for the sake of doing it, it's not always good.
Well, here's the thing about him.
It's
He's
just like-
got enough fucking talent that he doesn't even really need comedy if he wants to.
That's true. Yeah, he's a smart kid. He's
Yeah.
definitely a very smart kid.
No, but it's just like every band comes out with that real awesome album, right? Then they follow it up with something else that's kind of good, but not as great, but it's pretty good, but there's more good songs on it.
Yeah.
Like,
And
how do
then
you
The
go
double
from,
album, like,
But that third
every
album
time-
is the worst piece of
Yeah.
shit
Oh,
that it was
yeah.
ever put out. Because they're like, no, this is what we really want to play. It's like, oh my god, you guys should have never gotten into music.
How many double albums should have only been a single album because the second album just sucked? Like,
How many people just put out live albums just so they would, honor their contract?
how do you
yes, exactly.
Like,
how do you
Kiss
do,
Alive,
hold on,
Kiss
hold on,
Alive
hold
too.
Nirvana finished their contract because Kurt
on,
was
wait.
dead.
I'm gonna interrupt you again. How do you do 4 great albums and then go from Injustice for All to the Black Album?
No,
Like,
wait a minute.
Well,
I will
Arsenal
defend.
time-
I will defend.
I'm
the
gonna be
Black Album.
Cameron.
I
I will defend.
throwing
I
his
will
headphones
defend
down.
the fucking
Rob is
Black
Black
Fight
buttering.
Club.
to the day I die.
right.
Because if you don't defend the fucking Black Album, you go right from Injustice to All to Load of Shit, the fucking biggest sellout fucking album
They were
that
bad.
was ever fucking
They were bad.
produced in the history of mankind.
But the Black Album
Load-
was still like a
No,
stepping
no.
Hey,
All right.
The Black Album was not terrible. It wasn't Injustice for All.
It wasn't
Kill
Kill
Ride
'Em
the
All,
Lightning. It
Ride the
wasn't
Lightning,
Master Puppets.
All right.
No, it was like you got
Soliloquy,
Kill 'Em All,
Nirvana.
Master Puppets, Ride the
No, wait,
Lightning,
Nirvana.
Injustice for All.
You have Bleach. You have the Nevermind album. You have In Utero.
In Utero,
And then you have
yeah.
that piece of shit fucking Incesticide.
I loved it.
What about the acoustic album?
That was amazing.
I
too.
like that.
loved
I love the.
Yeah, you forgot about that one.
Yeah,
What was wrong with In Utero?
dude, they had that song "Hairspray Cream." Or,
I don't remember
or
that.
Hairspray Queen or something where he's like,
Yeah. You see, now this
I
is
was
my
like
beef.
that.
Going back to Metallica.
that's what it was, man.
I don't know. I
Metallica
didn't
for me,
think they had a bad album.
I was a fan. I was in that weird generation where like hip hop was still kind of new. This heavy metal was really coming in.
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
listen to both, and people are like, poser. Fuck you, poser. I'm like, all right, I'm a poser. I happen to
That's
like
so
a lot of
fun.
different
Yeah,
things.
really.
That's like
Yeah.
the same-
When you're 13, I'm supposed to fucking commit to
That's
life.
the
what I'm
same
gonna
thing
be.
if you like punk and
No,
metal.
no,
Like,
but time out. I'm trying to get to something here.
oh,
Pete.
Yeah, we gotta get the break, Pete. Come on.
Hold on.
Sorry
Or
to-
I'll
Take
never,
us
I'll never
out.
get it out. No, so like it went from that, and I'm like, all right, cool. But I like Metallica, and I love Master of Puppets. It's a great album,
amazing.
great fucking
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
Master.
Justice for All was good, not
Right.
the greatest, but it was good.
Ride the Lightning's my
And then,
favorite.
then all of a sudden, one. And they got MTV, and they started making money. And if you remember Ride the Lightning, not about the money, man, about the music and our fans.
Yeah.
And then Napster comes along, and they start suing 13-year-olds.
Yep.
Fuck
Yeah.
Metallica, and I say it out loud.
Right?
No, no,
Fuck
exact. Fuck you,
Metallica.
Lars.
Fuck
especially.
Lars, man. He's
Yeah.
he's
He
the
is a
Let's sue
dude.
12-year-olds and their families because they want to
Dude.
listen to our music.
Yeah.
Lars is like the Axl Rose of that band.
I was just gonna bring them up too.
Yeah.
Fucking
Actually, he's
Appetite.
not as talented
Amazing.
as Axel.
Yeah. Appetite was an amazing.
Just
album,
as
and-
douchey, though.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but when he does the drum thing, he's like running out of breath. His tongue sticking out. He's drooling.
All right, we're gonna go to break with that.
Yes. What is that? He said
And Taint.
He said we suck. Fucking Slim. Slim just said we all suck.
You all suck. No, this has been a great show, right? I don't know if it's just because I'm drunk, but like I feel
All,
like it's
all of
been,
the
like, a
above,
great
all of the
show.
above.
Right? Okay. All right.
No,
So
the
it's been
show's
good,
great,
it's
but
been
you're
good.
terrible, Slim. I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
I
I don't
figured
know.
that. I mean,
Cameron was right.
I don't drink it, but just a
Cameron,
ripoff.
yeah,
Just we're ripping off everybody.
Cameron knows what he's talking about.
Cameron, I want to dock with you later.
Come in, we'll give you a Cosby sweater.
Yes.
Peace wonder.
I'm buying a
I
family-sized
will
box
personally
of
give
Fruity
Cameron
Pebbles.
a Cosby sweater.
We'll give you the old Teddy Kennedy.
Live on the show. Come on, Cameron. You gotta do
Fruity
this.
Pebbles and Fruit Loops mixed into the same
Cameron,
bowl.
it's cross promotion. Cameron, it's cross promotion.
And not Cameron Reedy. Cameron Reedy's on next. Let me say
Cameron
that
Reedy
one
we
more time.
like.
Yes.
we like
We
Cameron
love
Reedy.
He's the
Cameron
sexy
Reedy.
one.
Yeah.
Who is Alan's Cameron? What is his name? Let's
Alan's Cameron.
Alan's Cameron.
That's on his birth certificate.
You know,
Sorry, Alan, because
if Cameron
you're
Reedy
awesome.
wants it too,
We
you
love
know, why
Alan.
not?
No. Alan's Cameron, come over and Pete will give you a Cosby sweater, and it will
I
be
will give you
amazing
a Cosby
cross
sweater.
promotion.
And a pink sock.
With
And a
love.
big sock.
And on
I
that,
can't- I
we will
can't
go
say
to
the-
break.
And a rusty
Pink sock.
trombone, why not?
We'll be back.
And an inspired bratwurst.
And an angry
Find out.
pirate.
You'll find out what that is.